Ever feel like you're constantly asking people to repeat themselves, especially in a crowded room?
Oh, definitely. Or maybe the TV volume seems to be inching its way up lately.
Yeah, that too. If you're nodding along, you're definitely not alone.
Yeah.
Changes in hearing are a really common experience as we get into our 60s and beyond.
It's very widespread. And it's easy to just chalk it up to simply getting older.
Right.
But the good news is, while some shifts in hearing are typical, we actually have some real agency here. There are definitely proactive things we can do to safeguard the hearing we have and, well, maybe slow down any further changes.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we wanted to dig into today. We've looked at some really interesting stuff that highlights 5 key areas where we can make a tangible difference.
Right.
Not huge disruptive changes, but simple, effective habits for our daily routines. So we can keep enjoying, music, conversations, just the sounds of life.
Our goal with this deep dive is really to give you practical knowledge you can actually use. And from our research, these 5 strategies really stood out. First, protecting your ears from loud noises, that's critical. Second, understanding and addressing any underlying health issues. Third, the role of nutrition, which is often overlooked. Fourth, the benefits of regular exercise, which might be surprising. And finally, the importance of regular hearing screenings, being proactive.
Okay, let's unpack this, starting with protecting ears from loud noises. Seems obvious, maybe, but maybe we don't always think about it enough.
Exactly. The information we looked at really stressed how vital this becomes after 60. And it makes sense, right? Think about the decades of noise exposure we've already had.
Yeah, all the concerts, maybe power tools, noisy workplaces.
All of that adds up. Now, any hearing changes that have already happened, well, they might not be reversible.
Yep.
But the encouraging part is we can absolutely minimize further impact. It's about preserving what you've got.
So what are some concrete steps? The material had some really practical ideas, like if you love listening to music.
Use noise-canceling headphones. That was a key suggestion. But be really conscious of the volume.
Right. Keep it at a level where you can still hear what's going on around you.
Exactly. And the noise canceling helps because it blocks ambient sound, so you don't need to crank the volume up as much to hear clearly. It's about enjoying it safely.
And what about those unavoidable loud places?
Yeah.
Concerts or, yard work with loud machinery.
Earplugs or earmuffs. Absolutely essential. The info even mentioned just simple, cheap foam earplugs.
Oh yeah, those are easy.
Keep a pair handy. In your pocket, your bag. You never know when you'll need them unexpectedly. Prevention doesn't have to be complicated.
Good point.
And it's not just about those super intense noises either. The sources also mention being mindful of everyday environments, like a busy cafe or a party.
Yeah.
Try to sit a bit away from the speakers or maybe an open window if it's noisy outside. Small adjustments.
That's smart. Just shifting where you sit. And what about conversations in those places?
Don't hesitate. Ask people to speak up a bit or maybe move a little closer. Advocate for yourself.
It feels better than just struggling and missing things, right?
Yeah, much better. Most people are understanding if you just explain you're having a bit of trouble hearing.
Okay, let's shift gears. Strategy 2, addressing underlying health issues. This connection wasn't immediately obvious to me.
Yeah, but the link between our general health and hearing health is actually pretty strong. Things like high blood pressure, diabetes, even recurrent ear infections can impact hearing.
So regular checkups are key then.
Definitely. And the source is really emphasized. Tell your doctor if you're noticing any hearing difficulties during those appointments. Don't just assume it's nothing.
Right, make it part of the conversation.
Absolutely. They can check if any underlying conditions might be contributing. And another important point, certain medications can sometimes have hearing loss as a side effect.
Oh, really? Like what kind?
Meds for high blood pressure, sometimes heart disease, certain strong antibiotics. It's not super common for all of them, but it happens.
So if you notice a change after starting a new medication.
Talk to your doctor. Exactly. They might be able to adjust things or monitor it. It's about open communication with your healthcare team.
Got it. Okay, strategy 3, nutrition. This one's interesting, fueling your ears.
Yes, it's not just about avoiding bad things, but actively consuming nutrients that help. The sources highlighted a few key ones. Vitamin B12, for example.
B12, how does that help?
It's crucial for nerve health, and that includes the auditory nerves. A deficiency can actually cause problems with both hearing and balance.
Wow, so where do we get B12?
Eggs, dairy products, fortified cereals are good sources. And if you're concerned, discuss a supplement with your doctor. Don't just start taking things on your own.
Okay, what else?
Magnesium came up. It seems to help protect the inner ear from noise damage.
Ah, interesting. So like spinach, almonds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Spinach, almonds, bananas, good sources. Again, talk to your doctor about supplements if you think you need more, but food first is usually best.
Makes sense.
And the last big one mentioned was omega-3 fatty acids.
Like in fish oil,
Yes.
salmon.
Yep, salmon, walnuts, flax seeds. These help protect the blood vessels in the ears and promote good circulation to the auditory nerves. Good blood flow is vital for those delicate structures.
So circulation is key here.
Absolutely crucial. It nourishes the whole system.
Okay.
So adding omega-3s is another piece of the hearing health puzzle. It's amazing how diet connects, isn't it?
It really is. Which kind of leads into strategy 4, regular exercise.
Yeah.
How does walking help my ears?
It's that circulation again. Physical activity improves blood flow everywhere, including your ears. Better blood flow means the auditory nerves get the oxygen and nutrients they need to stay in top shape.
So we don't need to run marathons.
Not at all. The info was clear. Moderate activity is great. Brisk walking, swimming, even gentle yoga, they all boost circulation.
That's reassuring.
And there's an added bonus. Exercise helps reduce the risk of conditions like high blood pressure and diabetes.
Which you said can affect hearing.
Exactly. So it helps directly through circulation and indirectly by lowering the risk of those related conditions. A win-win.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So I've got noise protection, health issues, nutrition, exercise. What's the 5th strategy?
Regular hearing screenings. This one is all about being proactive.
Like getting your eyes checked.
Precisely. Think of it the same way. Hearing loss often creeps up gradually. You might not even notice it until it's quite significant.
Yeah, you just adapt slowly.
Right. So regular screenings, especially after 60, maybe every year or two, can catch those early signs.
And catching it early helps how?
It can be crucial. Sometimes, if caught early, the cause might be treatable, making the loss reversible. Or at least it allows for much more effective management with timely intervention.
Who does these screenings?
A hearing healthcare professional, like an audiologist, they can do thorough tests, figure out the type and degree of loss, and recommend the best solutions for you.
Solutions like hearing aids. I know some people worry about those.
That's a common concern, yeah. But the sources emphasize that many people in their 60s and beyond use hearing aids very successfully. They really help with clear communication and quality of life.
And they're not just making everything louder, right?
Not at all. Modern hearing aids are incredibly sophisticated. They're designed to fine-tune sounds, making speech clearer, filtering background noise. It makes conversations much less effortful.
What if someone isn't ready for hearing aids? Or the loss is very mild?
There are other options too. Assistive listening devices, or ALDs. These can help in specific situations, watching TV, group meetings. They might amplify a specific sound source or connect directly to hearing aids.
Okay, so there are different levels of support.
Definitely. It's about finding the right tool for the situation.
This all sounds like a really holistic approach. It's not just the physical strategies, but also about how we adapt our lives and mindset, maybe?
That's such a critical point. Especially staying socially engaged, it can be tempting to pull back if hearing gets tough.
Yeah, it can be tiring trying to keep up.
It can. But staying connected, friends, family, community is so vital for overall well-being. It fights off loneliness, helps cognitive health.
So what helps navigate social situations?
Maybe focusing on smaller groups or one-on-one chats where it's easier to follow. And again, being open about it.
Just letting people know you might need them to speak clearly or face you.
Exactly. Most people want to help you engage. And don't forget technology.
Oh yeah, like what?
Smartphone apps. Some can transcribe conversations in real time. Others offer subtitles for videos or online meetings. Many video chat platforms have closed captions now too.
That's fantastic. Using tech to bridge the gap. You know, the sources also mentioned something I found surprising, the link between stress and hearing.
Yes. It's not something we often think about, but stress and anxiety can negatively impact hearing. When we're stressed, our body releases cortisol,
The stress hormone.
right? And that can potentially affect the delicate structures in the ear. Stress is also linked to tinnitus, that ringing or buzzing sound, and might even make existing hearing loss feel worse.
Wow, so managing stress is actually part of hearing care.
It seems to be. Incorporating relaxation techniques, deep breathing, meditation, spending time in nature, it's good for your mind and potentially your ears.
What about activities like yoga?
Yoga, Tai Chi, they're great because they often combine stress reduction with physical movement, hitting two of our strategies at once. It just shows how interconnected everything is.
Taking care of your mental well-being supports your hearing.
Okay.
And as we pull all these threads together, it's important to remember that adapting our lifestyle and mindset is key. No single magic bullet reverses hearing loss, usually.
Right, it's about combining things.
Exactly. Combining strategies to slow progression and maintain a rich, engaged life, it requires some mental and emotional resilience, too.
Accepting it as part of aging, maybe, but then taking action.
Precisely. Acceptance empowers action. Focus on what you can do, not the limitations. Find workarounds, subtitles for movies, maybe a sound system for the TV, preferring smaller groups for conversation.
Staying positive and trying new things?
Absolutely. And speaking of trying new things, the source has also highlighted hearing apps again.
On your smartphone. Yeah. There are apps that can amplify speech, filter background noise, great for tricky environments. Others offer closed captions for various media. They're getting really good.
And not just for people with hearing aids.
No, potentially helpful for anyone looking to improve their listening experience in certain situations. Some even have little hearing exercises like speech training. Technology keeps advancing.
That's encouraging.
And just to circle back quickly to nutrition, beyond the B12, magnesium, and omega-3s we mentioned,
There's more.
well, the general principle holds. A nutrient-rich diet is beneficial. Antioxidants are important. Things like vitamin C help protect blood vessels in the inner ear. Folate aids circulation. Zinc supports the immune system, helping prevent ear infections.
So a generally healthy, well-rounded diet really supports hearing health, along with everything else.
It truly does. It's all part of the bigger picture.
Listening to all this, it feels like a lot to manage, potentially.
It can feel that way, definitely.
Yeah.
Managing hearing changes is a process, a journey. It's important to be patient with yourself, have some self-compassion.
Small steps matter.
Absolutely. Small steps consistently taken can make a huge difference over time. And remember, you are absolutely not alone in this. Millions of people over 60 experience hearing loss and live vibrant, full lives.
It's not about the loss itself, but how you manage it.
Exactly. Active engagement, staying informed, using the tools available.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
The core message really is one of empowerment. Yes, hearing changes are common as we age, but they don't have to diminish your joy or slow you down.
by taking these kinds of steps, protecting your ears, exploring solutions, staying connected.
You can absolutely continue to enjoy life's precious moments with clarity and connection. Prioritizing your hearing health is prioritizing your quality of life.
That's a great way to put it. So maybe as a final thought for everyone listening, reflect on one small actionable step you could take, maybe even today, to protect your hearing or just understand it a little better. Here's to hearing well and living well.